Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to the channel. On this week's episode, we're going to do our first product review and check out a bilge heater that we've been testing out for the past month from Xtreme Heaters. We're doing our first product review of this bilge heater because we got it just before the epic snow and ice storm that we had just about a month ago here on Lake Lanier. We rode it out on the boat and it was Claire's first experience seeing snow. So if you missed that video, check it out right here and we'll link it in the description down below. Here on Lake Lanier in the south, just about an hour north of Atlanta, when we winterize our boat, what we really do is try and keep the engine compartment and everything around there just above freezing. It doesn't get cold enough for long enough where we would need to drain the water out of the engine and generators and replace it with a type of antifreeze. So pretty much what we do is we close off the vents around our bilge in the engine compartment and we put a bilge heater down there. If you've missed our earlier video on all the detailed steps that we go through in prepping for cold weather in wintertime and winterizing our boat, you can check it out right here. Might be right here, but it'll definitely be in the description down below as well. And in that video, we go through all the details of getting our boat ready for wintertime. In that video, you'll notice that we have a different bilge heater than we're talking about today. That bilge heater is the one that came on the boat when we purchased it. And really the reason that we're reviewing this bilge heater is because we're also in the market for a new one as well. We're really confident in our ability to close off the vents to the engine compartment. We're really confident that this lake is never going to get anywhere near freezing and provide enough warmth to keep a lot of the critical components from freezing. But what we weren't sure of is how effective the bilge heater was that came with the boat. So, in complete transparency, this is our product review of the bilge heater from Xtreme Heaters. One thing that really intrigued us about Xtreme Heaters is that they're designed, manufactured, and distributed from their headquarters just down the road here in Beaufort, Georgia. We really want to support the local community as much as we can, and we were really excited that they reached out to us to do this review. The second thing that we really liked about Xtreme Heaters that intrigued us is that all they do is manufacture bilge heaters for boats, RVs, and other type of recreational vehicles. Heaters is all they do, and it's not just some offshoot of a larger company that just so happens to make heaters. So we were really excited to test their product. So we'll get into a little bit more details. Come along with us and we'll show you everything that we found out about testing out this new bilge heater. Like I just mentioned, one of the things that we were very impressed with about Xtreme Heaters is that is their sole line of business, is building and manufacturing bilge heaters for boats, RVs, and other recreational vehicles. The first thing that I noticed when we looked at it is this is approved by the United States Coast Guard for their ignition standards. The bilge is a very dangerous place to put any type of thing that could have heat or an open flame or spark because of the gas tanks that are down there. So knowing that this has been approved by the US Coast Guard is very reassuring. The second thing that I really like about this is that it has a power indicator to know that it's turned on. Our prior bilge heater doesn't have any type of power indicator on here, so I really had no way of easily knowing if it was running other than getting down here and fidgeting with a couple of the switches down here. This is incredibly handy to know that your bilge heater has power. The third thing that I like about this bilge heater is that the temperature sensor is right here. It's designed to kick on when the temperatures reach 40 degrees, which is great because you want something to start warming up a bilge long before it has the potential to get to 32 or freezing. What's great about having the external temperature sensor is that we can test it with something that Xtreme Heaters makes as well as a refrigerant. It's also just like a keyboard duster that you would get, and we can point it there for a couple seconds and it'll turn on. I'll show you this in a little more detail in just a second, but the final thing that we like is the locking plate. Once springtime comes and through the summer and into the early part of the fall, we won't need this down in the bilge, and it's a pretty tight place to get. So having a locking plate that we can use to lock the bilge heater in place and not have it move around is an added bonus as well. The only way that we're able of testing the old bilge heater that we have was to reach our hand under it and flip a switch that was right here. It's a little cumbersome and hard to do in a tight to reach area, so we really like having the temperature sensor right here, and we can test it right here. And you can see that now the temperature sensor thinks it's 40 degrees and is turned on. Sure, you can hear that through the microphone. And this will run for probably at least 10 or 15 minutes until the temperature sensor thinks it's starting to rise from 40 degrees and above. So you might be asking, how did the bilge heater from Xtreme Heaters work that we've been testing out? And I'll say it was flawlessly. After the snowstorm passed and before we left, I went down into the bilge to check on the temperature. It felt warmer than the air, which was a good thing. And I could also see that the green power indicator light was on. So I knew that the bilge heater had power and it had kept the bilge nice and warm over the past couple days while that winter storm blew through. Since we've been gone for a couple weeks, we've just come back to the houseboat and we wanted to check that everything was still working as expected. We went down into the bilge, the green indicator light was on, it was nice and warm down there, so it felt like everything had worked accordingly. We went one step further and we turned on the generator because while we were gone, the temperature had actually dropped down to 18, 19 degrees and in the low 20s. Which for this area of Georgia is incredibly cold and very uncommon. I would say it's pretty extreme. We turned the generator on, it ran for 20 or 30 minutes, not a problem at all, which to us is a very good indication that there's no catastrophic damage. We're also really excited that the groundhog here, General Beauregard, didn't see his shadow. He said, "Get your life jackets out, springtime is on the way." So we're incredibly excited about that. And we know that the bilge heater is going to keep all of our mechanical parts in top condition, so they're ready for springtime. So after some extreme testing, I think that this bilge heater is something that we've been very excited to test and that we're very excited to stand behind. If you like these type of product reviews, let us know down in the comments below. This is really the first one that we've done, and we want to hear from you, our viewers, if this is something that you like and that you're getting value out of. And it's also been good to know that there have been other people that have commented on prior videos and even some very good Facebook posts that we've seen in the boater communities specific to Xtreme Heaters. So we're not the only ones that really stand behind the product, and we're very excited that we were able to get this video out to you. Hope everyone has a great day, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks and out on the water.